All right, welcome back. This is Antonio Melendez with another PluckPro video guitar lesson. We left off last time with a basic strumming pattern using the index finger going down, up, using the A minor chord, the E major chord, and the D minor chord. Today we're going to add another chord, and that is the C major. C major is one of the basic guitar chords that everybody learns in the beginning, and it's a beautiful chord, I think. Third finger, third fret of the A string, that's C. Second finger, second fret of the D string, that's E. Open G. And first finger, first fret of the B string, which is another C. And we just strummed up. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to add that C major chord into the progression. We're rearranging the chords that we learned last time. We're starting with A minor, then we're going to C major, then we're going to D minor, and then we're going to E major. Now the toughest part you'll probably encounter right now is going from the C to the D minor. So I encourage you to spend a few minutes just practicing doing a C, downstroke with here, and then going to the D minor. So practice doing back and forth to that a few times. If you have to spend a few minutes doing that and then rewind and start the lesson over, go for it. After that D minor, we go to the E major, and then that completes the cycle. The strumming pattern on the right hand is going to be the same in that we're going down and up in eighth notes. So it'll just be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and but the slight difference we're going to do that's going to make it sound like we're playing faster is we're going to do 2 counts on each chord instead of 4 counts like we did before. So 2 counts on A minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so 2 counts on each chord, and we'll do that all together now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. Something that's going to give your strumming a little more, and make it sound a little clearer, is focusing your force on the bottom 4 strings. Those are the cleaner sounding strings when they're all played together. When you play all of them, it doesn't sound as clear, especially when you start going faster. So when you do your downstrokes, focus on the bottom 4 strings. Of course, you're going to hit the other strings, but try to put the force down on the bottom 4 strings. Same thing on the upstroke. Make it just a real comfortable brush up. If you don't hit all the strings, that's okay. What's most important is that you're rhythmically in time. And the more and more you do it, the more and more comfortable it'll feel. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to speed it up a little, just so you can see a little more what the tempo sounds like a little faster. Ready, go. All right. Now, we're going to use the same progression, and we're going to start adding some basic percussive sounds to it. That really gives the rhythm of the guitar more momentum. It kind of makes it sound like you have a percussionist in the background. Especially if it's just 2 guitars playing and 1 guitarist is playing like that, it really helps a lot. It really gives the other guitarist something to lean back on, something to fall back on. So to do that, we're going to do what I call just a hand slap, and we just do that. And the placement of that is the most important part. So what we're going to do is we're going to place it on the 3rd beat. So forget about the chord progression for a minute and just stick with the A minor chord and practice going 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so you're just going to go 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, try that a few times. There's going to be a 4th beat, but just get the hang of doing 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so do that about 100 times, a week if you can. That'll really make it nice and comfortable, and you'll be able to do it without thinking about it too much. So if you've gotten that down pretty solid now, we're going to immediately follow that with an upstroke and then down, up. Okay, it's going to be a little confusing, so I'll do it really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's a complete 4 cycles. All of them are eighth notes. It's exactly what we've been doing, except for the third downbeat I'm replacing with a slap. So instead of strumming down, I'm slapping my hand on the fretboard. And depending where you do it, this is one of the best spots that I think to do it, because it has that kind of snare sound. It sounds like a snare drum on a drum set. You can do it here too, but it's a lot clearer here. So nice and slow again. 1 and 2 and, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When you do it in tempo, you can see how it has that motion. It pushes the song forward. It gives it some rhythm and some kind of energy that pushes you. So let's practice that a few times together. Real slow. We'll do the whole cycle 4 times. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, we're going to apply that to our chord progression now. I said before that the chord progression is going to be slightly different in that we're going to do 2 counts of each chord. To simplify it for now, the first time, we're going to do 4 counts of each chord. That'll let you not have to worry about switching chords while you're slapping, because that's going to be a little confusing at first. So you're going to do 1 full cycle on the A minor, 1 full cycle on the C, 1 full cycle on the D minor, 1 full cycle on the E major. So really slow, it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So go ahead and practice that a bunch of times, and if you need to pause again, go right ahead and pick up where we left off. Assuming that you practiced that already and you got it pretty smooth, we'll go ahead and try it a couple times full speed, which would be. Okay, so that's the full cycle. One thing that you should really focus on and be aware of is that your hands aren't being tense. I say that a lot, but make sure that they're relaxed. Make sure you're not forcing these chords in. Make sure that you're not tense in this right hand. It's very important. That's one of the things that will cause a lot of fatigue. Okay, another thing you may be wondering is, how do I get that sound here? Don't focus too much on making it perfectly flat. Just kind of stop the sound with your hand. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, every guitarist does it slightly different. I actually feel, now that I'm feeling it closely, it's pretty much the palm of my hand that's actually hitting the strings. My hand still has a natural curve to it, so it's just that right there. So practice that all the time. Okay, so now we're going to do it where where each chord gets 2 beats. And it's going to be a little trickier now because you're going to have to be concentrating on changing chords and slapping at the same time. So we'll do it slow together. 1 and 2 and. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. See, that's going to be the confusing part, because instead of doing a downstroke on C, you're actually, while you're changing the chord, you're hitting the guitar. So. So what's happening is that while you're hitting, you're changing chords, and then doing your finishing down up, and then the D minor gets a downbeat. Okay, so again, slowly the downbeats are landing on the A minor, and the D minor. Okay, full speed. and you get that full cycle. So practice that like crazy. That's going to be really fun for you. I know when I first started learning how to do these rhythms, I was obsessed. Another thing you can do when you don't have your guitar around, anywhere you're at, you can always practice on your legs, on your other arm, on a table. I would always be sitting there. I'd get in trouble in school because I'd be playing the guitar on my desk. I mean, just strumming my finger down and up. You could do it on your leg when you're standing in line at the grocery store. And you could practice your slaps on your leg, on anywhere. So just the more you think of it when you don't have your guitar, the more you'll get it when you do have your guitar. So always be thinking about strumming and your chords and saying your alphabet backwards from G and everything. Just keep it flowing in your mind so that way when you go to pick up your guitar, it's still kind of fresh. And again, practice every day. Set up a good practice routine. With the material we've covered so far, you have quite a few exercises that you can run through regularly that will improve your playing. And the more you run through them, the quicker you'll progress. So I encourage you to practice all these simple things all the time. I mean, I still do the chromatic exercise all the time when I'm sitting around. I still practice playing each string by itself. I still practice my basic chords, and it just keeps it fresh for me, and keeps my hands loose and keeps them warm. So practice as much as you can. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this one. This is the second one in the basic rhythm strumming patterns. Again, this is Antonio Melendez with PluckPro, complete guitar course for beginners. Thanks a lot.